Have you ever wondered where and how the English Football League, one of the oldest and most prestigious football leagues in the world, began? Picture this. The year is 1888, a time when football was primarily a pastime played in parks and schoolyards. Yet amid this simplicity, a revolution was brewing. A cluster of 12 pioneering clubs from the Midlands and the north of England gathered together, and with a shared vision, they set the wheels in motion for the formation of the English Football League. These 12 original clubs, a roll call that included the likes of Aston Villa, Blackburn Rovers, and Wolverhampton Wanderers, were to become the trailblazers of professional football. They implemented a league system, a concept that was, at the time, as revolutionary as it was practical. So how did this early league system work? It was simple, yet effective. Each club would play every other club twice during the season, once at home and once away. The results of these matches would then be tallied using a point system. 2 points were awarded for a win, 1 point for a draw, and none for a loss. At the end of the season, the club with the most points would be declared the champions. It was a system that promoted competition, brought structure to the sport, and laid the groundwork for the football we know and love today. It was also a system that would inspire football leagues around the globe, forever changing the landscape of the beautiful game. This monumental shift in football's history took place at a meeting at the Royal Hotel in Manchester. It was here that the foundations were laid for a league that would captivate audiences, create legends, and instill a passion for football in the hearts of millions. So, the English Football League, as we know it today, was born out of a meeting at the Royal Hotel in Manchester, setting the stage for a rich and storied history. With the stage set, the English Football League began to take shape. But how did it evolve before the World Wars? In the early 20th century, the English Football League was on a mission of expansion. The game was no longer confined to the elite teams of the North and Midlands. It had started to spread its wings across the country, capturing the hearts and minds of people from all walks of life. This era marked the introduction of divisions, a pivotal moment that fundamentally changed the league's structure. Initially, there were just 2 divisions, but as the popularity of football soared, more divisions were added. This divisional system allowed for the promotion and relegation of teams based on their performance, a concept that is still in place today and is the heartbeat of English football. The rise of professional football during this period cannot be understated. Football was no longer just a hobby, it was a livelihood. The best players were paid for their skills, attracting talent from far and wide, and elevating the quality of the game. This transformation was profound, turning football into a spectacle that drew in thousands of spectators, week in, week out. Of course, this era had its fair share of champions and noteworthy events. Aston Villa, Sunderland, and Newcastle United dominated the early years, while the likes of Manchester United and Liverpool began to make their mark. The first ever Charity Shield match, now known as the Community Shield, took place during this period, creating a new tradition in English football. However, the era was not without its challenges. The outbreak of the First World War in 1914 caused significant disruption, with many players enlisting and football grounds used for military purposes. Yet, against all odds, the league managed to survive, demonstrating the resilience and unyielding spirit of the game. Despite the challenges and turmoil of the early 20th century, the English Football League managed to persevere and grow, setting the stage for the post-war era. In the aftermath of the World Wars, football began to look a lot like the game we know today. But how did the English Football League adapt and evolve? As the dust settled post-war, the English Football League underwent a significant reorganization. The league was expanded from 88 to 92 clubs, divided into 4 divisions. This restructuring created a more competitive environment, giving rise to new champions and unforgettable games. One of the most significant changes was the introduction of floodlit matches. These nighttime games under artificial light brought a whole new atmosphere to the sport, transforming it into a spectacle that could be enjoyed after the working day. This was a game changer, literally and figuratively, making football accessible to more fans and adding a new dimension to the sport. But the evolution didn't stop there. The late 50s saw the advent of televised football. This was a monumental shift, taking the game from the stands to the living rooms of millions. Now fans could cheer for their favorite teams without leaving their homes. The accessibility and reach of football expanded dramatically, and the sport's popularity skyrocketed as a result. This era also saw some remarkable champions. Teams like Manchester United, known as the Busby Babes, under the management of Sir Matt Busby, dominated the league. Their attacking style of play redefined the game, and their success was a beacon of hope in the post-war years. Tragically, the Munich air disaster in 1958 decimated this young, promising team, leaving an indelible mark on the sport. Then there were the Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, who in 1961 became the first team in the 20th century to achieve the League and FA Cup double. Their success set a new benchmark for other teams to aspire to. The post-war era marked a significant turning point in the history of the English Football League, with the introduction of many elements that are now considered integral to the game. The late 20th century brought about another significant change in the English Football League. How did the Premier League come to be? As the sun set on the 20th century, a new dawn was on the horizon for English football, a dawn that would forever change the landscape of the sport. The year was 1992, a year that would go down in history as the birth of the Premier League. Frustrated by the outdated structure and financial imbalance of the Football League, the top clubs decided it was time for a change. This discontentment led to the formation of the Premier League, a breakaway league designed to give the clubs more control over TV rights and revenue. The impact of this decision was monumental. The creation of the Premier League brought with it a surge in commercial success, transforming the beautiful game into a global spectacle. This newfound wealth allowed clubs to attract top talent from around the world, raising the level of competition and the quality of play. In the early years of the Premier League, the competition was fierce. Clubs like Manchester United, Blackburn Rovers, and Arsenal were among the first to hoist the coveted Premier League trophy, their victories marking the beginning of a new era in English football. But the Premier League wasn't just about crowning champions. It was a stage for unforgettable moments, moments that are etched into the hearts of fans worldwide. From Eric Cantona's kung fu kick to David Beckham's halfway line goal, the Premier League quickly became a theater of dreams and a playground for the extraordinary. The Premier League era also saw the rise of legendary managers, figures like Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, and Jose Mourinho, whose tactics and mind games added a whole new dimension to the sport, making it more than just a game of football. The formation of the Premier League was a game changer, not just for the clubs involved, but for the entire footballing world. It redefined the sport, making it more exciting, more competitive, and more global than ever before. With the creation of the Premier League, the English Football League entered a new era of global recognition and commercial success. So, where does the English Football League stand today, more than a century after its formation? Well, the English Football League, or EFL, has expanded considerably from its initial 12 club members to a whopping 72 clubs today. These clubs are divided into 3 divisions: the Championship, League One, and League Two. The top teams from each division have the opportunity to move up a rank through a system known as promotion, while the bottom teams face the risk of dropping down a rank or relegation. This structure keeps the competition fierce and the stakes high. More than just a national treasure, the EFL has become a global phenomenon. It's estimated that the EFL Championship alone, the second tier of English football, is watched by over 60 million people worldwide. This is testament to the English Football League's global popularity and its immense impact on the world of football. In recent years, the EFL has seen a number of clubs rise to the occasion. Clubs like Leeds United and West Bromwich Albion, once giants of English football, have re-emerged from the Championship to the Premier League, proving the EFL's competitive spirit. On the other hand, the unpredictability of the league has also led to some shocking relegations, with clubs such as Sunderland and Bolton Wanderers facing a steep fall from grace. The EFL also continues to make strides off the pitch. It has been at the forefront of promoting diversity and equality in football. Notable campaigns like Kick It Out and Football v Homophobia have been instrumental in fostering inclusivity within the game. Moreover, the EFL has proved resilient in the face of adversity. Despite the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, the league managed to successfully complete its seasons, albeit behind closed doors, thus showcasing the unwavering spirit of the game. From its humble beginnings in a Manchester hotel to its current status as one of the most watched sports leagues in the world, the English Football League has a history as rich and varied as the game it represents.